Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons with Columbia Grain here in your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, we're going to dive right into it as harvests continue to progress along the northern tier. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we saw in the markets here this week. So I'm going to share my screen with you again, and we're going to navigate over to our favorite website, columbiagrain.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to go over to the Producer Solutions tab. This is where we house all of our pertinent data that could be potentially driving the markets. But again, this week, we started out on Monday looking at the crop progress report and really wanting to continue to highlight the winter wheat percent harvested in the U.S. And we can see that the winter wheat percent harvested in the U.S. is reaching 88% complete now. And really with the northern tier, Montana coming in as of Monday, at least at 51% cut and harvested. We have Idaho coming in at 26% and the state of Washington coming in at 47%. So starting to crest that hill and looking to get on the backside of the harvest season here as we continue to move forward. Definitely something to continue to monitor as we go forward in terms of what the weather could potentially have and any end implications as we wrap everything up here. The other thing that we were looking at this week continues to be the export sales reports, and wanted to kind of highlight the export sales pace and seeing what we're seeing right now in terms of wheat specifically. When we look at corn and soybeans, we're still looking at the 23-24 crop year. That is going to be turning the page here pretty quick. But when we do look at the U.S. for all wheat exports and the pace that we're seeing, we're definitely ahead of where we were last year at this time. Right now, as of yesterday, the marketing year-to-date sales are coming in for all wheat at 315 million bushels. Comparing that to where we were last year at this time, which was at 235 million bushels. So roughly about 35% ahead of where we were last year at this time. Again, really a big driving factor of that is going to be where the futures prices are at today versus where they were last year, significantly lower, unfortunately, again. But we are starting to see some end users come to the table and take additional coverage as we do continue to look to see where we could potentially round out a bottom here. But again, when we look at the fundamentals, it is difficult to say, where the potential bottom could come in at, but we just need to be ready to sell green numbers or higher values, right, as they present themselves. Speaking of that, on Monday, we will have the August World Agriculture Supply and Demand estimates coming out from the USDA. So it'll give us some additional price direction as we continue to move throughout the rest of the month here. But today, where we wound the week up here, let's take a look at new crop corn and bean futures. We do see that Dees corn had a weekly range this week of 16 cents. Winding the week out with a net loss of 7 cents there. November soybeans had an overall weekly range of 41 cents, closing the week out with a net loss of 27 cents week on week there. When you turn the page and you look at the wheat complex, kind of a mixed bag, but not a whole heck of a lot of changes here. We do see that Kansas September actually had a weekly range of 23 cents, closing the week out with a net loss of 5 cents on the week. Chicago wheat had a net weekly range of 33 cents and a weekly change of gaining 2 cents week on week there. And rounding everything out was Minneapolis wheat with a net weekly range of 18 cents and a weekly change of just down 2 cents week on week. Again, we're going to have a lot of information coming at us here as we continue to wind a wheat harvest down and look to turn the page to get into the corn and bean harvest. The other little things that we were looking at here today was continued potential less production throughout the globe. We did see that France actually this morning, they did lower their soft wheat crop estimates back down to 26.3 million metric tons. So that's down about 3 million metric tons from where they previously had their estimates at. So definitely something to continue to monitor in that area of the world. The other area is Russia. Russia continues to kind of go back and forth on what they could potentially see from their overall wheat production. And right now they're actually coming back down to just under 83 million metric tons, which really does just get them more in line with where the USDA had them estimated at their last round, which was right at 83 million metric tons. But again, when you compare that to last year, Last year, their production was at 91.5 million metric tons, so down close to 8 million metric tons. So we'll see if that will have any end implications in terms of the overall price direction as we continue to move forward here. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up for the weekend here. Again, remember on Monday, we will have the WASDE report out. That will give us some direction in terms of where we could potentially see markets go for the rest of the month here. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great weekend here. Continue to have a safe harvest. And remember, if you can drink it, don't trade it. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.